So I thought I'd do something a bit more advanced, something that would really challenge you from a technique point of view. So we're going to work on these advanced, extended pentatonic ideas that I've spoken about in previous videos. And what we're going to do is we're going to pick a small fragment and we're going to work on them from a number of different directions until you can get this movement good and embedded into your hand. And once you've got it there, that means you can start to really move it around the neck and take advantage of it. So I've also created a PDF to go with this. I'll put a link in the description and probably the first comment in the video down below. So hopefully you can use that, and it has everything tabbed out as well, or all the basic ideas tabbed out in that. So let's start with describing what I mean by an extended pentatonic shape. Let's have a go at that. So we start with a standard pentatonic shape up on the 12th fret. So I'm playing the E minor pentatonic. And instead of playing two notes on a string, what we do is we play three notes and then one note. Three notes, then one note. And then you finish your shape off. And that gives you a shape that has a very different set of playing characteristics than you get from a normal pentatonic shape. And it's something I've covered in many other videos as well. But this is a thing that we're really going to drill on. So this gives you a nice shape where you can really start to sweep the shape and get it moving around the neck. So this is a concept that I've spoken about in previous videos as well. I'll put some links into this video as well. Hopefully if you've not encountered this before, they'll go into these shapes in a bit more detail. But what we're going to do is just focus on a little 7-note section of this shape and just get that moving under your fingers. Because if you can break the back of this particular shape, you have something that you can really use pretty much anywhere on the neck of the guitar. So let's start here. We're just going to focus on the top 7 notes. So this is 3 notes on the E string, 1 on the B, and 3 on the G. And if we can get this movement right, if we can get this movement nice and smooth, we have this shape cracked. So it's going to take a while to get up to speed with something like this. But that's all I'm doing here is 3 notes, 1, 3 notes. It looks complicated, but if you look at what my finger's actually doing, if I stayed on one string, it's kind of making that kind of movement, which is a nice fast movement, yeah? But I'm moving it across the strings at the same time. The other thing to be aware of, which is kind of subtle, is string control. So both hands are getting involved in this. Even though my right hand is not actually playing any of the notes, I'm playing all of this legato, what my right hand is doing is controlling everything from the B string down when only the E string's ringing. So the B string can't make a sound because my thumb is rested on the B string. And then when I hit the B string, I move my thumb out of the way, but my third finger is at an angle and it's controlling the E string now. So the act of hammering on with that third finger is also deadening the E string. And similarly, when I hammer on with my little finger, it deadens the B string, and again my thumb moves out of the way again. So that's how I control the string noise. And that gives me a shape then that I can move across strings as well. So I can start with the B string and do exactly the same thing. 3 notes, 1 note, 3 notes. And then from the G string, 3 notes, 1, 3. And from the D to the E, do it the same thing again. Okay? And we can just move it for every subsequent line, so you get kind of a cascading effect. And you can come back the other way if you want to. And you can create these kinds of cascading pentatonic lines, this kind of Eric Johnson sound, just by doing that. Okay, so this shape is really quite tough to get right, but the more you stick with it, the more time you spend with it, the quicker you'll get and the more fluid you'll get with this movement as well. So it's really worth sticking with it. So the next thing we can do is we can turn it around, so we can turn this descending line into an ascending line. Let me show you that. Going the other way, we start with 3 notes, 1 note, and then 3 notes. So it's the same shape that we start with. But this way around is actually quite a bit harder. And the reason is down to string control again. Again, we start with 3 notes on the G string, and my thumb is controlling the D, the A, and the E string. And then as I move to the B string, my thumb moves across to deaden the G string. And then when I hammer onto the E string, it moves across again to deaden the B string. And this movement, timing this movement, is the real challenge when you come in the other way. And again, you do it across any set of strings. So you can create a nice little cascading line that ascends that way. So you can join both of them up if you want to. And create something that you can just loop while you're getting used to this movement. Okay, so we've got a line that we can descend with, a line we can ascend with, so the obvious thing to do is to loop it within the shape as well, which is really straightforward. But what is less straightforward, and I find more interesting, is how you take that looping shape and start moving it across the neck as well. So you've got something that will really move around the neck, and you can take it wherever you want. So let me demonstrate how I do that. If I stay in one position, I have a little 12-note looping pattern. Again, it's a useful little exercise in its own right. But it also gives me something that I can move across the strings as well, and the way I like to do that is, as I come up, I play that next to last note, and instead of reaching up for the A there, I move across one set of strings. Yeah. And coming back the other way, I change direction on that lowest note, so instead of playing the low E, I'll play the A, then the D, G, and there I am back across the strings again. So again, I can keep that shape in one place, I can move it into a sort of a descending pattern, I can move it into an ascending pattern, and I can mix and match all of these shapes together to create something that really kind of moves and tumbles around the neck. So the tabs for all of this are in the description field, so if you can't quite see what I'm doing, just download those, and that should give you the basic ideas. It shows you the descending lines, the ascending lines, how I loop, and how I move the loop across the strings as well. So that should give you all of the basic building blocks to be able to do all of this. Now obviously I've just stayed in one position of the pentatonic, and you can do this across all 5 positions of the pentatonic as well. So that would be the next place that I'd move if I were designing a practice regime for you guys. But anyway, hopefully that's given you a flavour of what you can do with this shape and where you can take it, and we'll chat next time. Goodbye.